I think confusion is not just an emotion or a feeling, but it's also a tool. And
Yeah,
that's why that's the question, who benefits? Because it's a tool for someone. When you are confused, someone uses that to define your reality. And people benefit from it monetarily, emotionally, whatever the case may be.
for sure.
And they define your reality. But again, that's why I think critical thinking is important, just so everyone could take their power back. Because somebody uses that confusion to get to their next level. You don't know what corner you're supposed to cut, you don't know nothing. And I think that's how society is. You don't know what's next. It's a lot of unknown and instability, right? However, when you hit a dead end, you know that's not the way to go. So you know there's something else. And I think once you figure out, okay, this is not true or this is a lie, or you figured out a piece of, for example, you figure out a piece of who benefits from your confusion, you can start navigating more and more and more until you get your way out. We have AI, and AI makes things so much easier, but it doesn't make life better. It makes things easier for people to do their job. It makes things easier in processes, and it just, even getting information is quick. It's quick and it's efficient and it's easier. But is it making life better? No.
Hey, welcome to our first episode. My name is Mario.
I'm Haley, and welcome to our podcast, Asking the Right Questions.
In a world full of noise, confusion is not an accident. It's by design.
And we're here to help you ask the right questions and not just react to the answer.
Yeah, because sometimes, most of the times, all the time, the answer isn't the problem.
It's the question. So, again, guys, welcome to our podcast, Asking the Right Questions. Before we get into the podcast, we want to introduce ourselves. I'm Haley, born and raised in Charleston, South Carolina. I just love spending time with my loved ones, my friends and family. I love traveling. I love watching sports and also playing sports. And I just love catching the vibe with music. And recently I've been on like a live music thing. Like, so I like going to concerts, jazz clubs, House of Blues type of things. So yeah.
Yeah, and my name is Mario again. I'm also from Charleston, South Carolina. I've been in the military for like 5 years. Being in the military, I've worked as an analyst. I've gotten my bachelor's in political science, and then I also got my master's in business administration. So I kind of understand the dynamics between, you know, business and politics and how they work. And so, we're just hoping that we both can bring what we have to like this platform. But some of the things that I also like is like basketball, football. I love sports. I love outdoors. I love really just learning about stuff. What?
No, keep going.
Oh, but no, yeah. I love just to learn. Just understanding the dynamics behind infrastructures, the way things work, and the way people think, and just stuff like that. And then also like this is my fiance. We've been engaged for like 6 months now, so we're looking at a wedding in the next year or so. So that's what we got going on. So yeah.
Yes. First of all, we love an educated black man. Yes. Hand claps for you. But yeah, getting into this podcast, Mario, I kind of want you to explain the purpose and the why of this podcast.
Okay. Yeah, I think getting into the podcast or even just starting the podcast, a lot of it really just goes back to the way we see the world today. I think for me, I see it, in the next 4 to 5 years, by 2030, essentially, like a lot of stuff is going to be so hard. If you don't have a platform, if you're not able to think for yourself and really like think beyond your emotions, you're gonna struggle a lot. So the whole purpose behind the podcast is to get ahead of the emotional identity politics and really just everybody just like not even arguing for truth and clarity, but more so arguing to justify and validate their own emotions. So the point behind this is really to give a space for people to like us to really just like, talk about what's going on, talk about different ways that we see things going and also just like how to get ahead of it. So yeah.
Yeah, and just to elaborate on what he's saying, I also just think, a lot of people think emotionally and react to things that are given by the media and by the government and just everybody that's giving us information. It's a lot of emotional reactions, and I think this is just bringing back critical thinking and just finding clarity in how to think. So with that being said, I think this podcast doesn't tell you what to think, but we tell you how to think. And also, this is a truth forward podcast. Um, Clarity, critical thinking, respectful honesty, meaning that we'll be honest and there will be some things said that, people might not like. There might be things that Demario say that I don't like. There might be things that I say that Demario don't like. However, we're going to keep it respectful. So if you do react and, go in the comments, please keep it respectful. Also, we're not challenging people. We're challenging ideas and ideologies. So yeah, we're not challenging like a group of people or whatever. It's more like, respectful honesty, but we're not coming for nobody.
Yeah.
And then what this podcast isn't conspiracy content. It's not rage bait. It's really just a safe space on a platform to talk about the truth and kind of find clarity in what's going on in the world.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. And just getting into, what you guys can expect moving forward with these episodes. Every week, every Thursdays, we're going to be releasing an episode. And then, those Monday through Wednesday leading up to that Thursday, you will see us releasing clips of what we're going to be talking about. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And every episode, we're going to give you a question about a different topic, a different industry, whatever it might be about, and then we're going to be tackling the narrative that's being pushed and guiding you and helping you establish what's actually not being said, and also what you should understand through some of the stuff that's being put out. So yeah.
And also, we'll be covering everything and asking the right questions toward every industry in this world, whether it's politics, sports, health,
yep,
finances, businesses, relationships, anything you can think of, we'll be covering it. And yeah. So Damari, you want to get into the main question for this episode?
So the main question we're going to be asking really is who benefits from our confusion as a whole. I think because that kind of goes into what the whole podcast is going to be about, because no matter what we'll be talking about, whether it's sports, politics, anything, it all goes back to who's benefiting from this narrative that's being pushed, right? So yeah, just with this first question that we're doing, we really just setting the basis for everything. So establishing who benefits from our confusion. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. So yes, the main question is again, who benefits from your confusion? I think the first layer that we can peel off is, start with how people feel. And because of the confusion, what emotions that bring.
I would say, obviously confusion creates anxiety. It creates what else? Anger. It's a flux of let me think, because I think it's anxiety, it's anger, it's sadness.
Mm-hmm.
It's an influx of different emotions, because I feel like many of us feel the rawness of what's going on in society, right? Because we all see what's going on. We all see the different things that's happening around the world, and things getting more expensive and prices not changing as far as salaries increasing and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that to match prices going up in the market.
Mm-hmm.
That causes us to be more sensitive to certain things, and we don't even understand why, because we haven't really tackled the problem or the issue. So I think that's kind of what confusion causes. Confusion causes a lot of the unknown emotions of anger and anxiety and I was about to say confusion, but yeah, I think that's what happens.
Yeah, just to go off of what you said, I think there's a lot of information coming out, but there's no context to it, and no one's being informed. We're just being flooded,
Yeah.
flooded with information, but we're not being informed about anything. And then you said something about the unknown, and I think that shows how it shows the instability we have as a society. And I think the instability we have and like not knowing what's next, but you still have all this information, but don't really know how to navigate it. I think, that's how the people feel. And that's where the confusion comes from. And that's why critical thinking is needed. Because once you start figuring out what's not true and like what are the lies,
Yeah.
it's easier to navigate the truth. Like a maze. Like when you're going through a maze, you're confused because you don't know what's next. You don't know what corner you're supposed to cut. You don't know nothing. And I think, that's how society is. You don't know what's next. It's a lot of unknown and instability, right? However, when you hit a dead end, that's not the way to go.
Right.
So there's something else. And I think once you figure out, okay, this is not true, or this is a lie, or you figured out a piece of, for example, you figure out a piece of who benefits from your confusion, you can start navigating more
Right.
and more and more until you get your way out.
Mm.
So with that being said, I think it's right to ask, what is the wrong question that's being asked, and like what's causing that confusion, and then what narrative is being pushed.
Yeah.
And then what's the right question to be asked.
My opinion behind that really is looking at the way that the world is today and how, the division, the chaos, the anxiety, the increase in like, behavioral health services and all of just the influx of everything, right? I would say the wrong question for anybody to be asking right now is, why are you acting like this? Is, why are you so emotional? Why are all of us so divided? Like, just that, like, those questions that don't get us anywhere as far as like, you don't get the solutions behind it. You just get
Clarity
but
on
not
how
even
you feeling.
Yeah, and it's not even clarity about like the root of the problem. We're just talking about how we feel. We're talking about our emotions. That's like, going to school, and the problem really is that we're getting put in detention for being late, which is out of our control, right? As an example, right? And instead of asking us like when we get home, or even like with administration, instead of like consoling kids about like, yo, hey, is anything going on wrong at home? Like, what's going on? Do you need assistance? Like, how can we better serve you? It's more so of like, why are you so much of a problem child?
Mm-hmm.
And because you're not on time, we're gonna go put you in whatever the case may be.
Or because you're being bad.
Right, because you talk so much, and because like whatever the case is, right? The questions that don't solve nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go into school to learn, obviously there's case by case basis, but if you go into school to learn and your first instinct is to like put me out,
mm-hmm.
that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because you should be making the most effort to make sure that I learn, right? Regardless of, even if I have to go to detention, I should still be making sure, not that I'm able to complete a work packet, but am I understanding the material even if I'm outside the classroom, right? So even when we asking these questions, we should be asking questions that are geared toward, am I understanding the complexity around what's going on in the world, or am I just asking questions to make myself feel better about how I perceive the world to be and what I think is going on, like justifying me being a Democrat, justifying me being a Republican, justifying me supporting ICE or me supporting Trump or whatever the case is, right? And so I think the right question should be geared towards, like, in this case about confusion, who benefits? And not and even to that, when we talking about emotions, instead of asking why are you so emotional, we should be asking, what did I say?
Well, just going off of what you said, first, I do agree that, the emotions that's not the right question to ask, but I still feel like it's important to address the emotions, Not saying it's a wrong. I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
That it's a wrong question, but I still believe it's important to address those questions. Now, saying that about, who benefits from your confusion, And what's the right question to ask? I think the right question to ask is what incentives exist that keeps you overwhelmed and in that state of confusion? Because um it's one thing being confused, but what's still holding you to that feeling and those emotions? Because, like you said, a lot of people want to figure out their emotions, and that's why, there's a mental health crisis in society, and it's at an all-time high, right? But what is keeping us in those emotions? Because, I mean, there is a way out of that.
Yeah,
Um,
I think at the most basic level, like the right question would be like, what systems, what policies,
mhm,
what narratives is it that exists
mhm,
that is keeping you in that state of emotion, in that state of feeling how you feel, in that state of believing what you believe,
mhm,
and that stuff. Like, what is the act like? Take the curtain off
mhm,
and tell me why you think like that.
mhm,
Not your emotions behind it, because I understand that we can get to it, right? But I want to know what caused you to even think that, because a lot of people take on the form of the narrative that they're being fed, and then you start asking them questions and they don't know and they get mad. But you should be mad at yourself for not even understanding why you feel a certain way,
mhm.
right? So I think that's kind of like where it's at, like peeling back the layers of the onion.
And you said you should be mad at yourself. I don't think necessarily you should be mad at yourself. I think those are the reactions that are produced because of the confusion and
Yeah.
because nobody knows how to navigate it. But that's where you bring critical thinking in. So, people will get mad and it's easy to get frustrated because you don't know why. But the reason why is because, the question we're also asking, what incentives exist to cause you to always feel that way?
Right.
And what questions can be asked to stop you from feeling that way all the time? It's not that you won't ever get mad, but like feeling that way where you get overwhelmed, right? And yeah, causing confusion. And so the next question, I think, because a lot of people watching this podcast or even watching a clip could be like, this doesn't apply to me.
Yeah.
Like, life is good, I'm chilling, so why is it important to understand critical thinking and like what actually is going on in the real world? Why is that important for everyday life and not just for me, not just for you, not just for us?
Yeah.
Everybody, whether life is going good or life is not.
I mean, well, my ideology. I feel like, we are all each other, just in various other forms, right?
In different seasons.
Different seasons, whether
Mhm.
male, female, Democrat, Republic, like whatever your ideology, beliefs, religions, gender, like it don't matter, right? Like when you start to understand that, like in similar circumstances, that this could also be you one day, and even if it never becomes you, it could still be somebody attached to you, right? So I think like we get confused and misled to think that we distance ourselves to believe I could never do that.
Mm-hmm.
That could never be me. I will never be in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
When the truth of the truth of the matter is, it could always be you. It could always be one of your kids, your brother, your mom, your dad. It could be anybody in your family. You may be you know, away from it, but not everybody in your family, right? And that's kind of similar to like this. I mean, this might be a bad example, but like when you think about celebrities, it may be hard to reach those celebrities, but it ain't hard to reach their family if you wanted to, right? And that's not me. I'm just proving a point of like you can't say that like something does not apply to you when you obviously like you will always have somebody that's around you that's connected that may be affected by something. So I think when you start thinking about it that way, that's when you start to like understand why it's important to apply different concepts and like tackling different conversations in a certain manner to kind of reveal why is this happening to this person, these people, these groups, these policies, whatever the case may be. Like if it's targeting the middle class, if it's targeting the upper class, how does that benefit? Because prime example, if we tax the rich, who are the rich? Because I want to one day become the rich, So am I advocating for myself to be taxed when I've worked so hard? So it's like so many different things where it's like you have to understand that you are each other. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, and just to go off your point and just kind of wrap this up before we get into a deeper conversation, I think confusion is not just, an emotion or like a feeling, but it's also a tool.
Yeah.
And that's why, that's the question, like who benefits? Because it's a tool for someone. And, when you are confused, someone uses that to define your reality.
Yeah.
And like, so, people benefit from it, monetarily, emotionally, whatever the case may be.
For sure.
And they define your reality. But again, that's why I think, critical thinking is important, just so everyone could take their power back.
Yeah.
Because somebody uses that confusion to get to their next level.
Yeah.
But that's just how our conversations will go, and it'll get deeper. But first, we want to do a quick take.
I kind of want to add on to like what you said, because I think like, yes, somebody can be manipulating a certain circumstance to cause chaos, to cause confusion, and all of that, right? But I think we also have to understand that that's not always the case, right? Because, for example, if we're in a job setting and you're being targeted by a boss, that targeting by your boss may benefit another worker, right? For them to get recognition, for them to get a raise unknowingly, right? And so they're not the ones that's manipulating your situation, but they are benefiting from it, right? And so that's even why it's important for everybody else to understand not just your own situation and what applies to you, but try to branch out and understand other people's perspective. So even if you are that person that's benefiting, you can still advocate for that person on the one hand. But on the other hand, as the person that's experiencing it, just because that person may be benefiting, that doesn't mean, hey, I'm now mad at that person. You should, once you understand that they don't have no control over that. So why be mad at them when I should be mad at the what's behind it, right? Obviously, it's my boss that's causing the issues with me, and top chain, right? The top people in control. And so my issue is with them and not with the person that's benefiting, because what does that do, right? So I think that kind of like guides the whole podcast too, because it helps people to understand that, even through the confusion piece, it's not always about blaming somebody else. Sometimes it's about just understanding certain concepts and certain ways of just the world as a whole, to kind of just tackle policies, so you can get out and vote, tackle narratives, so you can push back on the media and what they try to push to you, right? And not always just target the group or the audience that may be like benefiting or receiving attention while you're not receiving attention, like all of that stuff. Because when you focus on the narrative, you try to argue and defend the narrative, and then you start arguing with the people that never even put that narrative out. You get what I'm saying? So that's all I was saying.
Yeah. So guys, that's just really the surface level of, a question being asked. So before we get into that, we do want to get in into something more fun and lighthearted. So we're going to get into a quick take: princess treatment versus bare minimum.
Before we do that, let's show them what you wearing. What you got on?
Yeah. So what I have on, let me get in the camera for y'all. There we go. So what I have on is a hoodie by Project Purpose. It's more than a brand, it's a movement. And so this is a hoodie. It has like people in the background that symbolizes community and village, and every hoodie you buy, or every piece of clothing or apparel from them you buy, there's a toiletry kit that goes out to the homeless. So support. Again, it says village on the front, and their motto is elevate the village. So I'm saying support to elevate the village, because at one point in your life, the village elevated you. So please go support, again, Project Purpose. And yeah.
Yeah, I love to what they got going on and everything that they're doing. Anybody that's advocating for the less fortunate or people that's overlooked and undermined and
Mhm.
forgotten and things of that nature. That's definitely like all love.
Yeah, again, it's more than a brand, it's a movement. It's helping, it's for a good cause. So it's not only a brand, it's not just a piece of clothing.
Yeah,
It's going to a good cause, so please support.
yeah.
Hmm.
But getting back on the topic, right? Like before we even get into the whole princess treatment thing, let's go ahead and show them the ring, man. I know we talked about it earlier. I told them that we were engaged and everything, but go ahead and show off the ring and everything.
Yay.
Oh my God, that's not a roller. It's a rock.
It's a rock. Yeah.
No.
No. Yeah. Yeah, so again, we're
I'm crying.
engaged. Yeah, we're engaged, but well, not but.
But
We're engaged. Yeah, no, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
We're engaged, but this is my best friend.
But
This is
again,
also this is also my best
And-
friend. And there we go. And this is my best friend.
we're best friends. I'm
Okay,
crying.
All right.
Damn, shoot me away.
Nah, cause you trying to be funny.
But no, yeah. This is my best friend,
Mhm.
and
We've been dating for 3 years.
yep.
He proposed in
Proposed.
Chicago. It was really nice on a yacht. Beautiful day. Had a great day. Went to brunch, did an activity, and then we
Pop the question.
then you popped the question. After that, we went to very nice dinner. So everything was beautiful, everything was perfect.
She had these high expectations.
Ain't nothing wrong with
And that's not
nothing
I'm
wrong
not
with high
saying it's a bad
expectations
thing.
now.
But this motherfucker wanted to go to Greece. She wanted.
Oh, chill, motherfucker.
My bad. I'm sorry. This woman wanted to go to Greece, knowing how expensive a flight, hotel, the food, even the engagement packages. Like that's absurd. But I mean, I would say though, truthfully,
No, hold
Chicago
on.
is dope. Like
Chicago is nice.
I was gonna originally do it in Texas and Houston, and like take you on the beach. And looking back at it, I'm so glad I didn't do that.
Yeah,
because
me too.
that it would have been decent, but
It wouldn't have been as
Chicago,
good as it was and
man,
perfect.
I didn't know Chicago was like that, but
Yeah.
Chicago like
Chicago is like that, and y'all with the Greece thing, because it's not high expectations. I feel like
that. Standards.
it's not really no.
Yeah.
I think when a man asks you like,
Asks you.
I'm
Ask,
sorry, when a man asks,
brother.
please clip that out,
Oh, brother.
because when a man asks you to propose when a man asks about your dream proposal, and when you want to get engaged, like how do you want it? I think a woman is not going to be like, oh, this is just fine. Like they're going
At
to tell you,
McDonald's, at Burger King.
yeah, well,
Golden
no,
Corral.
not even that, but like they're going to tell you what they want.
Right.
They're not
No, I
going to
get
tell
it.
you like, oh, anything. They're going to tell you exactly what you want. Saying that, like, yes, I did want it at Greece and stuff, but like, also, I'm glad. Like,
Do you think Greece would have been better than Chicago?
I don't know, but it was perfect.
I'm talking about in terms of like, you said your dreams, right? Your dream, you had an idea of what you expected your proposal to look like,
Mm-hmm.
and that was in Greece, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is the reality of how it actually went down compared to the dream of how you wanted it. How do they compare? Like which one
It
is
sounds like you want your flowers. So
I kinda do.
I'm going
I
to say
kinda do.
this because it just sounds like you want your flowers. And
I didn't beat the dream.
I was getting there.
Okay.
The execution was 1,000 out of 10. The execution was literally perfect. And I was about to say, like, yes, I wanted it in Greece. That's what I said when he asked me what was my dream proposal. Yes. But it was nothing could have been better. Like, honestly, the execution, perfect. The day, perfect. I was happy. Like, so if you let me get there, as long as you're like,
Chill.
it shows that like he was actually listening to what I said and not just like trying to give me he still gave me what I wanted, but he wasn't trying to do it word for word. He still like executed at a great level. Like I didn't know if we did go to Greece, I probably would have not expected, but like say you was like, oh, let's go to Greece.
Right. You'd have known.
It would have been like, okay, he finna do, okay, he finna propose. Like,
Right.
I don't know what day, but he finna propose. And then if we have something special planned, it's like, okay. This was 100% unexpected. I thought we was just going, just to go.
Yeah.
And just experience Chicago and, like, take a break from, reality.
Right.
And just enjoy each other and stuff. So, like I said, execution 1,000 out of 10. That day was, like, one of the best days I've ever had in my life. Not that I lived a lot of life, but
25 years.
But yes, a day that I will remember, like the time, I was a little mad before we got on the boat, but everything else was perfect.
You thought you was finna get kidnapped.
Yeah, I did. Because, y'all. Okay, so the day was perfect. I think what he told me he had planned was an R&B cruise. And when we got there, we went on an architecture cruise like 2 days before. And we got there early. So you could just stand in line and listen to music and whatever the case may be until they're ready for you to board on the ship. Okay, so I guess we got there early. I don't know, because obviously it wasn't the R&B cruise. But I guess we got there a little early. So I was like, okay, let's go find the line so we can stand on it and, have a good seat or whatever the case may be. So we got there. He was like, no, just stay here. And I'm like, why are we like, do you want to like fight for a seat or something? Like, we're here early, so whatever the case may be. And then I was like, well, can we at least walk around? He was like, no. And I was like, okay, cool.
I was nervous. I didn't want to do no walking. I wanted to sit and think.
Yeah. So then it was just like, okay. Then he finally was like, okay, we can walk now. Went there. I didn't see no line. We just hopped straight on a yacht, y'all. And then it was just like, okay, this is going to sound bad, but I'm going to give y'all a little bit of context. Being a black woman from Charleston, South Carolina, in the South, like, it's a little bit, just because of the history, it's kind of hard. Or it's a little difficult.
Seeing two white people
on a boat.
On a boat.
When it's supposed to be an R&B cruise, I thought, it's going to be filled with, like, majority black people, because when we were on the architecture cruise, we saw the R&B cruise pass us. So I was like, oh, okay, this is what we doing in 2 days. So I'm like, oh, it's about to be, they were lit, like, we finna turn up. Cool. I didn't see no black people, y'all. And it was just two white people. Then they was asking for all my stuff. And I was just like, I looked at Demario, like, and then I asked him, like, where's everybody at? And then he looking at his phone, talk about he booked the wrong thing. So I'm just like, oh, like, Demario, I let it go all in Demario hands. He did the wrong thing. We got scammed. Like, everything just going through my head. And I was just like, oh my God. This man asking me to put his stuff. Like, I didn't even know where he was like, put it in the, like, inside of the yacht. And I was just like, okay, so if I do need to access my phone and stuff, I can't access it because he was about to put it up. So I was just like, oh no, this is not going to go good. And then, he was like, do you sure you don't want me to take your phone? You sure you don't? Why you want my phone in purse so bad?
Hey.
So I was just like, nah. And then they told me this whole story. Like, oh, this is our new yacht, so we're going to teach you how to get, like, to the front and everything. And I was like, oh, Lord, they're separating me and Demario. What if they try to take Demario out first because he the man? And I was like, damn, he can't swim. I was like, this is the end. Because I can escape from swimming.
I can swim.
Well, by swimming. Sorry, y'all.
I can swim.
No, okay. You can't. You can't swim.
I can't float. It's two different things, man.
Okay, so if you had to swim all the way back to land, was you gonna make it? Because you can't tread water and you can't float.
Hey, you could do a lot of things when that adrenaline rushing. Hey, it's a lot of things you could do. You ain't know you could do. I'm telling you.
However, they were some of the nicest people ever.
They were. They
really went out their way. So, like, it was wrong for me of making assumptions at the beginning.
Oh, you was pissed off.
I wasn't pissed off.
They gave us the aux, and they were like, y'all can play what you want to play. And you were like, oh, I'm ready to go. It
was just like, because you said, it was really like,
and okay. Then when we started taking pictures with the photographer and everything, you turned around and all. I feel like once you turned around, you knew I was going to ask you. What did you? When they said, "All right, turn around."
Okay, like I didn't know for
You
sure.
didn't, but you felt like it.
But I was like, this is like, once we got to the front of the boat, I was like,
Watch you do it.
I was like, I think he's about to propose. Like, once they was like, okay, now you, because the photographer, because y'all, they had us do a Titanic pose.
I'm crying.
And he was behind me. Like, what's the name? What's the dude off of the Titanic? Jack.
Yeah.
They had him holding me like Jack and the girl, and I was like,
and I'm scared because I'm like, bro, if I fall off this shit with the oil,
yeah.
if the ring fall off.
Well, I was scared because I was at the edge, and I was like, boy.
I'm like, shit, I might not be that confident in water, but I'm gonna go get that ring though. Hey, if that shit go in the water.
2 things would have been lost that day.
No, I would expect you to come down there and get me. Damn. Wow.
No, I would have tell somebody to throw I would have tell the man throw the thing.
Tell somebody.
Man.
You would have tell somebody.
I would have said, get him the floaty.
Yeah, we probably would have.
Demario, grab the floaty. Grab it. Damn.
You know what I would have said?
And then if you couldn't grab it, then I would have guided you. But I'm traumatized.
I would have said.
I'm traumatized because I tried to save this person from the pool.
Call it off.
No, listen.
No more engagement. We'll try this another day. Nah. Maybe in a year.
I can't save. I saved somebody one time because this. Okay. They just jumped. They just jumped in the pool knowing they can't swim at the deep end, and so like everybody else didn't know how to swim but me. So I was like, shit, I don't want nobody die in front of me. So I went to save her. Man, I almost died myself because like
I bet.
Once she had someone to push down and get to the edge. She treated me like a fucking floaty. And I'm not a floaty. If you push me down, I'm going to stay down. So, yeah. I don't know if I could jump in. Like, okay, maybe I would have. Like, once I was like, dang. Like, maybe I was like, oh.
That's crazy. I would jump in for the ring, but you wouldn't jump in for me.
I would jump in for you, but, like, if we have a floaty to throw out and you can get it.
But how long is it going to take for them to come get the floaty versus you jumping in who already right there next to me? It's crazy.
First of all.
Because I'm telling you, hey.
If I came, what would you do? You would probably end up pushing me down.
Hold on to you.
Yeah, exactly. We would both sink.
I'd have hugged you so tight, bro. Hey, I'm not letting go.
Exactly.
We going down together.
We going down together. Hey. That's what I'm saying. And that's why.
Once I feel somebody come save me, oh, it's a wrap.
That's what I'm saying. We would end up 3 things would have been lost that day.
Hey, I'd rather 3 than 2.
No, somebody got to tell the story.
No, fuck that.
Somebody got to survive.
Let them damn captain of the boat tell it. Fuck that shit.
But yeah, we was at the edge of the boat. They told me like, this is their new yacht. They had to take pictures for the website. They showed me the old yacht, but I don't even think that
was.
Oh, yeah. They showed me the old yacht. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like the fuck. But they had us doing Titanic, like
yeah, they had you turn around
for the website. And then they was like, okay, let her get some by herself. So I was just holding my hands out to the water, feeling dumb as shit. Cause I'm like, what the hell are they asking me to do? And then I'm like, oh my God. First I was like, okay, first what I thought was like, how did Demario get here? How did he book this shit? Because he got me doing some dumbass shit. But then I realized, I was like, watch I turn around and he be on his knees. And sure enough, I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. Because it was so unexpected. So unexpected. I was like, oh my God. Like, I was just like, I didn't know what to think because it's just like so much like, first I was mad at you, now I'm like, oh, wow. So, not really mad, but I was just getting irritated.
You was mad.
I don't think I was mad. I was irritated.
You didn't see your face. I saw your face. You was mad.
Was I?
Man, listen. Even they knew, like...
Let's hurry this shit up.
Yeah, we got to go ahead and pop the question.
But yeah, no, everything was beautiful. Oh, and then, the photographer couldn't swim.
Yeah, she was nervous.
So it's just like, it was too much going on. But it definitely, I would do it all over again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was that. beautiful day. Then we went to the Evie.
Yeah,
Is
the
that
whole trip was nice because I think we was there for like a week, but the proposal was like the third or fourth day.
mm-hmm.
Then we had uh 2 photo shoots, and I think the rest was just like soaking the
Exploring
moment,
the city, like just
taking it all in.
enjoying each other.
Yeah.
Like I was calling my family for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Like telling everybody, oh, y'all know what happened. Whole time when we came back home, they already knew.
Yeah,
Like
whole
they
time.
already knew the whole time. And like we had an engagement party with my family and his family and our friends.
I was so busy though. I forgot to tell people. Like I was counting on like, you know, the small amount of people that I did tell.
To tell people.
Yeah, because like I think I told my aunt.
Well, there was still a lot of people there though.
Yeah, there was a lot of people from my
But
family.
I feel like
I'm talking like friends wise. It was like, bro,
oh,
what
friends,
the fuck?
yeah.
Because I told Kwanzi the day of,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I think he was in Charleston.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, you coming to get us? He was like, no, I'm in Charleston.
Yeah.
I'm like, nigga, so you not coming to the engagement party, nigga? Like, the
Yeah.
fuck? He's like, oh, you ain't tell me? I'm like, nigga, I did. Like, no, you did. I had to double
No.
check. I was like, damn, I ain't tell this man for real.
I think you just had like a lot going on. Like,
I did.
Because you was planning the Chicago thing without me knowing,
Yeah.
and then you had to plan the engagement party without me knowing. So that's a lot.
Yeah, it was.
But it was perfect, y'all. And then 2 restaurant recommendations I do want to recommend if you go to Chicago: the Honey Bear Cafe.
Yeah.
Honey Bear Cafe brunch. Oh my god, so good. We did. That's the brunch we went to the day of the proposal, and then we also went to the Evie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like fine dining, but the food is really good.
What's that seafood place that we went to? That was that shit.
I think STK. Was it?
No,
No,
I don't know what
it
it's
was.
called.
Cause it's like a STK steak, STK seafood.
Maybe.
It was something like that, but they
Was it the seafood one?
yeah, it was seafood.
It had to be because it was by the water. So yeah.
And I had fish tacos.
Yeah, crazy.
But yeah, everything was good. I would definitely go back to Chicago again just to explore more. Cause I think even though 7 days was a lot,
It was.
I think there's still a lot of stuff we miss as well. So
Yeah.
it's a good trip. I think I would recommend it to anybody. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But
So
yeah.
let's get into princess treatment versus bare minimum. So Demario, I want you to define princess treatment, and I want you to define bare minimum.
To me, I would say princess treatment or any treatment is anything that don't got nothing to do with that other person. So like,
Mhm.
for example, right? If you going to go get your nails done, I don't get my nails. I don't get that done, right?
Mhm.
So if I give you my card or I come back and I pay for it, it's princess treatment because that ain't got shit to do with me, you know? Bare minimum is like holding your door. That's a bare minimum. I have to do that,
Mhm.
you know, because I'm protector, provider, that kind of thing, right? So
Mhm.
I would say like bare minimum is kind of like that like if you with me, you are my responsibility.
Mhm.
Whenever you ain't with me, hey, whatever I do that is not tied to me is princess treatment.
Mhm.
So that's what I would say. What do you think?
Surprisingly, I agree with you.
What? That's surprising.
Surprisingly, I agree with you. I feel like princess treatment is, and like going off of you,
Yeah.
or going to about you, I guess. Like king treatment, prince treatment. I don't know what you guys call it, but like
Whatever.
catering to your man. I think that's the same thing. Like something that doesn't have to do with me at all.
Right.
And I think bare minimum is just like what we agree on. The things we agree on, and my responsibility and role as a woman to you.
Yeah.
And I think same thing for you as a man. Like
Which is gonna be different for each person.
each couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So to get into it, I guess you can ask first.
You know what I'm asking. Opening the car door.
Opening the car door.
Princess treatment or bare minimum? Because by our standards of what we just said, right? I said, when I'm with you, you are my priority. Like, you are my responsibility. So, with that being said, when you with me, should I be opening your car door 24/7?
I think I should be your priority, like, whether I'm not there.
No, I mean obviously, like if you're not with me, like I really don't have that much control over like
I
protecting
know.
you.
I
So that I'm
know.
not. I think you get what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Opening the car door. I think that's princess treatment, even though it kind of has something to do with me.
Yeah.
But it's just like, for me, that's not something that I expect. Or like, it's princess treatment because it's not the bare minimum for me. Like, um, I think, yeah. I mean, some people, I feel like if it's a date night or like, I feel like with the engagement, you know, we took a Uber everywhere, but
Mm-hmm.
however, you opened my door that day
Yeah.
and made sure like I got in the car first and
I think that whole week I did.
yeah, but you wanted that whole week and that specific day to feel special.
Right.
Whereas like or like even if it's a date night or whatever, like you're going to do it because that's just you. However, like if we're just going to get groceries or running errands, no. Because it's an in and out thing. I'm trying to
Right.
get in and we trying to get out. We trying to get things accomplished.
Somebody's
So
shooting up a Walmart and I'm over here opening your damn door.
well, I think that's a little too
That's
much.
happened.
Now
That's happened before though. Somebody shoot up Walmart in Texas.
I'm saying like I feel like if you're worrying about that while there's a shooting going on,
That's what I'm saying.
and you're mad at your man because he didn't open your door. Yeah.
But I mean, I saw a movie. It's like one of them '90s movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it's called. I need to look it up. But it's about like some like Italian man. Italian dude and his black girl, and they were dating. And his dad told him, he was like, if you want to know if she's the right person for you, or the right girl to be pursuing, open her car door. When she gets in the car, they had like old school cars back then that like you gotta slam the door to close that shit, and like really pull that shit real hard to like open it. So like he's like, open her door, and if she reaches over and opens your door for you, then that's the one. Like you let her in the car and she like scoots over and opens your shit. That's the one for you. What do you think about that? Because I saw that and I was like, oh wow, that's a good way to like tell like, oh, she cares, and it's not just about me. What you think, Heidi? Oh brother,
I just feel like, what if you never find a woman that opens your door? Because like I don't think a woman, when like I feel like if you open my car door, I think it's just a kind gesture that you're doing, showing that you care and that like you want to court me. But like I don't know, for me, I'm not finna do that.
Why not?
Because first of all, who be thinking of that? What woman be like, okay, I'm gonna open, since he opened my door? Like I feel like there's other ways to show you're interested and you care, but I'm not doing that.
Okay, but what do you think he was trying to get across by like telling him like, this is how you see if this is the right woman for you? What do you think he was like testing?
To see if the woman actually cares for you as a person instead of like what you do
exactly
for them. But what movie is this? Cause like
I don't know the name.
I would have told that man he ain't finna find nobody if he waiting on somebody to open his door.
It's based on it came out in the '90s, but it's based like it's from like the '70s.
Did the person he went on a date with open his door?
Yeah, she definitely opened that man's door, like for sure.
And that's why it's a movie.
Yeah, it's a love
that wouldn't
movie.
happen in real life.
You don't know that.
Mm-mm.
You don't know that.
I don't think.
I think the basis of what he's getting across, which I agree with, maybe not you don't gotta open my door, but like what he's getting across is, if you're all about her, you need to see if she's all about you, right? Like it shouldn't be like she's just like, you said it the other day. You was like, there's people who are a water fountain and there's people who are a drain, right? People who are a drain are people that think like, I need princess treatment and I need you to do this for me, right? But people who are a fountain, we pour into each other, as far as like, I'm opening your door and obviously like, cool, you don't gotta open my door, but are you thinking about me? If I got something in the driver's seat that I left overnight or whatever the case is, are you like, you throwing it in the back seat for me? Like, Are you turning on the heated seats if it's cold outside for me, so I don't gotta do that when I get it? Like, what are you doing for me? You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but like for me, it's gonna be nothing that has to do with a car. Like,
The car is just the analogy.
I know it's
baby.
just the analogy, but I feel like there's other ways, and that's why I was like, "What movie is this?"
I don't remember.
And that's why it's just a movie, because I don't think. Well, let me not speak for all women, but I think if you speak to majority of women, they'll probably be like, "No."
I think if you speak to some women,
They probably say yes. I mean,
most of them will probably say it is all about me.
I don't think so.
Some.
However, like I understand what you're saying, because you know you're supposed to cater to your man too.
Because I feel like we've now
But
been groomed
not-
in this society where it's just like, I want a man to be a man. When like that man is a human being with feelings and emotions, and I ain't saying that man got to be soft. That don't not necessarily. However, when he come home, can he lay his head down? If I can't come home and lay my head down, and this is off topic from the princess side, but this is more on the man side, right? But if he can't come home and lay his head down
and like feel free at home,
right, feel like he's at home, then that's a problem.
No, I understand that. I agree.
You able to go shopping and get your nails done and all the princess
No,
shit.
I agree. Like, exactly. So there's other ways you can show it, right? Like, oh, I want you to look good for me, or well, maybe that's a little selfish. But like, I
need some money to go get my hair done, nigga. Like,
no,
what? Nigga?
No, maybe like, okay, for example, like, okay, you worked hard all week. Like, I know it's your birthday coming up, and you want to like look nice, so like get you some nice cologne. You know, get you a haircut, pay for your haircut, make sure. Or you can do that, like, you know, for example, you was at a point like, okay, you used to be like, oh, you want to pay for my haircut?
Yeah.
But then I started hearing that, and I was like, oh, you're going to get a haircut. Okay, I'm going to cash app you. Like, it's not even, it's like kind of like listening to your partner to figure out, like, you know, what they like. So, like, if I know you like to smell good and, like, look good, like, I'm going to get you those things so you can do that. But it's not, you wouldn't, I feel like you don't have to ask me for it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I need a haircut. Okay, $40 or whatever, however much you cost. Like, all right, I'm gonna send you $65 so you can get your haircut, but also you can be fed. So I think there's other ways to do it. I feel like that's my way of doing it. I'm not opening a car door or opening a door for a man.
The car is just an analogy.
I know it's just an analogy, but I just feel like.
So okay.
And this is just me. Like, I just feel like this is just like me personally.
I understand.
Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing.
You are hung up on this car right now.
I feel like it's very like masculine to do that. You know, opening a car door, opening a door, like it's very masculine.
Oh, trust me, I know, because when I hold the door for you, you never hold it for me.
Because you be holding it for other people. Like if we going in a restaurant, I be going in, and then you be like,
I know. I'm talking about we'll go to Waffle House. I hold the door, and it's 2 doors, so obviously, like I gotta open one and the other one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, like I open one, and like you'll open the second one, because obviously I'm not in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
You will not hold that shit. Like you will swing that bitch open, and then
I'll hold it like this.
I'll try to squeeze through and get my ass knocked.
No.
I'm like, damn, bro, like I'm behind you. Like,
no,
damn.
I hold it like this, but I'm not finna hold it like no fucking doorman.
No, I mean, I obviously go through the door, but I'm saying, damn, you can make sure I get through that motherfucker too.
I make sure.
You don't.
It don't be well.
I ain't tripping, but I'm saying I know you ain't holding no damn door.
I already said I don't really.
I just said I know that.
Oh. So I don't think it should be a complaint.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
I just said it was a movie, bro. Relax.
No, I get it. I get what you're saying with the movie, and I think also to your point, I think men should get acknowledged more.
What do you think is?
Because you said something about like a man start receiving his flowers at a funeral.
Oh, yeah, I saw that thing on Instagram where it says the first time a man receives his flowers is at his funerals, or receives flowers at all is at his funeral,
and like receives like good words and stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, that might be really true.
Yeah, I thought about. I'm like, damn, that's actually facts.
Yeah, and I'm like, that is so sad. So like, ladies, if you're out there, please like acknowledge your man, like acknowledge all the men in your family, like to make sure they're loved. So,
Facts.
because that, when you share that with me, I was like, okay, like you do have a point. That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But
What do you think is like talking about standards and relationships? What would you say is the right and wrong question in that regard? You know?
I mean, I'm not the best person to
I'm
come forward
crying.
for relationship
Hey, at work
advice.
you be giving hella advice at work. I'd be like, that's not, you shouldn't have told them people that shit.
They asked me, and you know,
I'd be like, man, ain't no, I gotta see you at work because ain't no way they listening to you. That.
nah, because I think they see my relationship
Yeah.
and assume like I know what I'm talking about. I mean, if they ask, I'm going to answer it. I say, you know, don't take it word for word, but I mean, that's what I would do if I was in your
That shit be
situation. But
killing me.
I've never been in your situation.
But I would say when we talk about like what's the wrong question to ask in relationships, the wrong question would always be to me, you know, how can I benefit from this relationship?
Mm-hmm.
What do I have to gain from, you know, this courtship, this relationship,
Or what does he bring
this
to
friendship?
the table?
Yeah,
Or
what does he
she
bring to the
bring
table? Like, you know what I mean? So like, I think that's always the wrong question in any relationship, you know. And the right question would always be is like, you know, how can I provide value to this person?
Mm-hmm.
You know, how can I assist this person in not saying you gotta, you know, help financially or anything like that, but even just kind words, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking life into a man is like, you know, that does something that, you know, materialism stuff that will never do, honestly.
Yeah, it
Right?
doesn't level up.
Yeah, and even for a female too, because like speaking life into a female is just as, you know, cherishable, if not more, than paying for nails or paying for hair and stuff. So, you know, that's what I would say is the right versus wrong question. Oh, I know it's debatable depending on the female.
I mean, no, I agree.
Sure you do.
No.
Sure you do.
No, I do agree. I feel like, you know, building up that person and the value of the person and all of that stuff that you just said, I agree with that. I think it's more valuable than the materialistic things.
But it's also, yeah, I get you.
But I mean, if you don't have it, you don't have it. I mean, I feel like that's cool. But I mean, I think the materialistic things do help.
I'm crying.
But I do agree with you.
No, I get you.
Just also, I think people gotta realize, like, for me, and like, you know, before we got together
Right.
and we were I was dating and stuff, you gotta realize every man ain't for you and you ain't for every man.
Facts.
And like every man ain't for every woman and vice versa.
Yeah.
Because it's just like you're only supposed to have one anyway. You get what I'm saying? Like once you get married, like you're my one.
Right.
Like nobody else. Like you're perfect for me, and I'm perfect for you. But like anybody else, it might not be a match. But that doesn't matter anymore because we found our one. So I think I say that because I think it's a lot of comparison.
It is.
On relationships, and I think like, you know, people's like, oh, how do you have this and how do you have that? It works because we work out, like we're compatible. And I think people forget like compatibility matters. And I'm like, and also it matters how compatible you guys are, like again, without the materialistic things. And like even off of social media, like are y'all cute on social media and then like are y'all arguing or whatever the case may be? So I think it's that. And because people look cute on social media, you want to, but that person is not your person for real. Also, yeah, I think that's what
I would add on to what you said too, because I think like when you talk about compatibility, right? What makes somebody compatible, right? It's not that, oh, we were bred for each other since birth. No, not at all, right? We both are in a level of like understanding, right? Of where it's not all about us anymore, right? We're able to be in a relationship and think about the other person, right? We're ready for a relationship. And so I think that's what it's really about, and not so much about like, do we fit each other? Because anybody can fit. It's not like a piece to a puzzle, but it's like, am I willing to put myself second to this person, and not second as like, oh, I don't matter, but like, can I think about this person just as much as I think about myself, right? And most people can't do that, and so that's why sometimes you'll have a man who's willing to put his all, but a woman who's ready to take it all, right? Or a woman who's ready to give her all, and a man who's ready to take her all, right, and not give anything. So it's not really compatibility in itself, but it's more about just being selfless. So I think that's really what it is, honestly.
And then with the understanding part, because like I think you really like open like another conversation, like just with disagreements and arguing, because like I think that's the main reason why people don't end up staying together, because they don't agree on something. I mean, agree on something, and like arguments. And I think, you know, and this can apply to like the basics of this podcast. It's not me versus you, right?
Right.
It's us versus the problem.
Every time.
And I think, you know, we disagree, and you know, but we have to figure out what are we disagreeing on, and like fight that.
Right.
And I think, you know, that's what I mean. You give good relationship advice, honestly, with talking and stuff. Do you give relationship advice at work?
Me? No.
Oh,
I try to stay out of people's business, to be honest with you.
Oh.
I just come home and talk to you about it.
So you trying to say like I be in people's business?
No, that's not what I said. I said
no,
I don't.
I understand, but I was just
unless
saying,
somebody asks me my opinion,
yeah.
I'm not gonna go out there and freely give it, because I'm not finna be like in the middle of what you got going on.
Yeah.
And then I see you with your significant other, and then I'm not finna be in that. No.
Oh yeah. So I was just saying, like, okay, cool.
Unless you my homeboy like Kwanzi, like of course, like me and him gonna talk. Yeah.
Yeah, gossip. Yeah, of course.
Nah, ain't no gossiping. So.
But nah, dang.
You forgot?
I forgot what I was. Oh yeah, I think just going back. That's why I give up relationship advice. That's what I be saying, because you be saying I don't be saying the right stuff all the time. But like, because people be asking me for dating advice. I've been dating one person for like 3 years, so like I can't really give you too much because it probably changed. So they be asking me, and I be saying whatever, because like honestly, this shit don't got to do nothing to do with me.
You do say whatever. The stuff that you be like, I'm like, why did you that?
And it be making sense.
It don't.
They be thinking it makes sense.
They think so, and I'm like, you lead it. It's the blind leading the blind.
I'm not blind. I'm good. I'm not blind. They're blind. I don't know why they asking me.
But I think like overall, talking about relationships, right? Like kind of like what we pointed out is that the overall consensus is that it's to the individual. You know, it's what you both agree on. Is what you know, the standards that you both set from the beginning. And even like obviously people change, so obviously keep coming back to the table and reevaluating what works and what doesn't work, right? But I think like the biggest takeaway from this conversation, honestly, is that, you know, if something as simple as relationships and standards can be so confusing and so differential, imagine the other conversations and topics that we'll be covering, right? Like politics, like what is it? Entertainment, right? Basketball, football,
the arts,
whatever,
movies,
right? Like
music,
all
everything.
like all of these different conversations, they're all gonna be complex, right? And so it takes a lot of understanding to really get to the nitty gritty. And even when you get to the nitty gritty, it's like I said, peeling an onion. So you'll get to a layer and you think you understand it, but you still got more stuff that you got to peel off. Like you said, you know, with what I said, you was like, that's a whole nother conversation, right? And so with all of this stuff is like, you know, this is just a spark conversation with you, with the audience, and, you know, feedback. So, yeah. But now we can get into the conversation. The prompt, getting back to the main
question.
Yep.
And going back, the main question is, who benefits from your confusion? So the first question I got for you, Demario, is like, so we said earlier, how does the people feel, right?
Yeah.
The people feel like they're angry, they're tired, they feel like the world is loud, a lot of information, but no context, so they feel flooded and overwhelmed. And then we talked about, how, like, then we asked
Right.
what incentives exist to keep those people feeling overwhelmed and confused. But before we get to the deeper level of things, the first question I do want to ask is define that. Like, define loud. Like, what is a loud world, and how does that confuse us?
Yeah, so I like analogies and kind of like similarities and stuff. So I would say I see us as being antennas, right? We are receivers of radio waves and frequencies, right? And so when I think about what's loud, I see it as there's so many different wavelengths that we're picking up that we cannot focus. We cannot, tune in to just one thing and dissect it and evaluate it and really like chew it and swallow it, if that makes sense. So when I think of loud, I think of like there's so much going on. There's so much noise, essentially, right? It's like when you turn on your radio and it's like you're in a rural area, right? All you hear is static. That's exactly what we mean when we say it's chaos. It's confusion, because you hearing, you picking up stuff, right? And you're hearing it and you're seeing it, but you're not really digesting it. And so that's what loud is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was really good. Also, loud is like, again, we talked about, how there's, and you said it just now, like there's so much information and you're getting stuff, but you're not digesting it. So a lot of context with too many inputs, but like not the bread and butter of what it is. It's just people reacting. And you just got different, and it's like, oh, they could be right, but they could be right. But
I like that.
It's not like what's actually going on, and you're just receiving all these emotions and you're just putting out, and it's just an exchange of emotions instead of exchanging of thoughts that could contribute to what's actually going on.
Yeah, and I think everything that you said could be summarized in what you said. You said it's a lot of content, but not a lot of context. And so I think that's like the bulk of everything that we're really tackling. So yeah.
And then, like, I think the next question is, we define loud.
Yeah.
Cool. A lot of content with no context. But the next question is, what's producing the loudness?
That's a great question. What is producing the loudness? So if I go back to the analogy of like we're radios and we're picking up frequencies, other radios, honestly, other radios, because it's like you can receive and you can send. So
I got you. Okay.
So the senders are, social media.
You know, I'm a 2000 baby radio.
Yeah, It's kind of like military. I mean, we played with walkie-talkies growing up. You could know.
You played with walkie-talkies.
Okay, I played outside. You didn't.
I did play outside,
right.
But I was playing like basketball and stuff.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like kickball.
Okay.
And all that.
But I mean, yeah. So like I said, like the production or the source of the loudness is really coming from social media, coming from different news, media outlets. Is coming from, narratives from politics, everything. I think it's from everywhere. Honestly.
Yeah, and to go off of what you said, I think what's producing the loudness is, like you said, social media. But what is social media trying to get? I think it's trying to get attention.
Yeah.
And then the next question is like, what type of attention, and what does that attention do?
What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah. So I think the attention is trying to grab the attention of people who's willing to spend money, because everything is monetized, right? Buy this, or you see the celebrity wearing this new piece of clothing, like If we walk out the house and go driving, we're going to just see a bunch of billboards. Oh, if you need a lawyer. Oh, if you everything is to grab your attention to get money, right? Like even if you look at commercials, everything you look at is not to inform you on actual things.
Yeah.
It's to grab your attention so you can spend money.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So yeah, I just think, ads, sponsorships, affiliations, we see that in everything. Politics, we see it in sports, business, health. Health is a big one, and it's kind of sad. Everything. Even with finance, people people advertise things to get your money, saying, "Oh, I can fix this," but you still have to pay something to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah.
I would even add, right? I agree, right? But I think sometimes it can be more complex than just that. And I think because it's not just about money, even though yes, money is part of the problem, but I also think it has something to do with just a restructuring, right? So I'm not even gonna say what I think, right? But I'll just ask the question. With prices going up and salaries staying down, why do you think salaries aren't increasing? With people in school, especially people in high school, more people in high school are reading on elementary grade levels, and that's not being addressed. Why do you think that that's not being prioritized when we talk about things, right? When you look at human trafficking, sex trafficking, and the amount of people that go missing every year, why is that not being addressed, right?
When we talk about
when we talk about technology and the advancement of technology and how fast it's developing, yet the lack of advancement in our daily lives. Why do you think that is? And I'll just leave it up to the audience to even just comment in the video below. Just let us know, why do you think that? What is that pushing? Because everything has a reason. Because these things don't just happen by coincidence. There's no such thing as a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason, and it could be for money, but then there's other times where it could be for something else. And so I would just implore people to investigate, ask questions, and really try to understand. They keep talking about 2030, 2030, 2030. What is 2030 finna look like for the average person? Not for a rich person that has billions of dollars. Not for, people that don't look like you are, have your situation, but for you personally, because everybody's going to experience it differently, and looking at 2030, how does 2026 and what we're seeing now lead up to that, right? And so I'll, look up what the United Nations is talking about. Look up what other committees and other people are talking about. So, yeah, I would just say it's a lot more complex than just money.
Yeah, and I feel like we can get into that deeper in another episode. But the first question you asked was, why is the price of things going up and salary is not? And I think, we have AI. And AI makes things so much easier, but it doesn't make life better. It makes things easier for people to do their job. It makes things easier, in processes and stuff like that. And it just even getting information is quick,
right?
And it's quick and it's efficient and it's easier. But is it making life better? No. Because people are losing jobs, because AI is taking over. People are not learning correctly because they're not trying to use their brain anymore. They just type it in ChatGPT or what's the Google one called? Gemini?
Gemini, yeah.
Gemini.
No, I think that's Twitter.
No, Gemini.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Twitter got Grok. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
that to get answers, and not actually critically thinking about it. Cause like when we were back in school, we had like DBQ,
Yeah. Yeah, DBQs.
DBQs, but it
Analytical
was
bibliographies.
yeah, that too. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like in college you still do that though. Well, maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know.
It was something else, but DBQs, and that was like something you read something, and then you had to like pick a side or something,
Yep.
or not, but you still had to write about something and critically think about it and use the evidence. And I don't think we do that anymore because they don't have that in schools anymore. I
Yeah.
think our generation was like the last to have it. They might still do it, but
Because you would think, right?
I ain't never see my brother bring home no DBQ.
If I
My
never
little
brought
brother.
mine home, I always did mine in class. But I mean, you would think, right, that
Excuse me.
technology is advancing,
Mm.
right? So if technology is taking over the most basic tasks, that means you would have more subject matter experts,
Mm-hmm.
in theory.
Mm-hmm.
However, are they breeding kids in school to be subject matter experts?
No.
You know, and that's just another question.
Oh.
And no, I'm saying like you can answer it. I'm not
No,
saying.
I'm saying no, but
Yeah.
no, yeah, you keep going.
But like, with that in mind, if they're not making it better, then who are going to be the subject matter experts?
Mm-hmm.
Because it ain't nobody from public school,
Mhm.
unless you're obviously being educated from your parents and things like that. But everybody doesn't have that luxury,
Mhm.
right? So who are going to be the subject matter experts? You know,
Mhm.
you got charter schools, you got private schools, you got all these other institutions where kids are, breeded to be something in life.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying like public school is not where it's at, but I'm just saying that there's a reason why a lot of these things aren't being addressed. So,
And just to go back, like I think like just me kind of answering your question, but feel free to comment in the chat
mhm.
and in the comment section below because I do want to hear your thoughts. I think it's because when you talk about all those things and all the questions you ask, I think people want to benefit from something, and they want like that's all of that. The answer for me is just something to benefit off of.
What do you mean?
Like what questions you asked? You asked about why people are reading on this level. Well, if everybody can't read on this level, they ain't qualified for this position, and they can just replace it with AI. What's another question you asked earlier?
I don't remember.
You talked about, sex trafficking and human
Right.
trafficking. That's not talked about because people are probably benefiting monetarily. And that's why I'm saying, like, it's all a money grab. Because you got to think, like, you have the black market where they sell organs and stuff. Right?
Right. I'm listening.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, nobody's talking about it because probably, like, people, most likely the people who are benefiting from it are the people that are not doing anything about it.
Yeah, but
who has the power to do something about it? You get what I'm saying?
I do, and I agree. But I would also look at it from a systemic level because I also think, look at the history of not just America, but all of modern history,
Mhm.
right? From Europe and on backwards, right? How have we gradually changed throughout history?
Mhm.
So starting off 1776, we started off, we had slavery was rampant, right?
Mhm.
And then we got into the Industrial Revolution. After the Industrial Revolution, we had World War II, which changed the dynamic of how the world operates.
Mhm.
After World War II, we had 1972, where we got off of the gold standard. And now we're 2026, and what's next,
Mhm.
right? And if we are in a period of restructure, what might that look like?
Mhm.
And so I would say like study history to know like how was it before and how did it change?
Mhm.
Because I'm pretty sure like our grandparents faced changes in the 70s, right?
Mhm.
Civil rights era. Don't grab the mic like that. But the civil rights era, and also just like, getting off of the gold standard, you know, just getting on the gold standard, like so much different things. So it's like if there is a new system that's being implemented,
Mhm.
this would be a perfect way to do it.
Yeah.
To keep people confused, worried about the wrong thing, less educated, especially if the new system doesn't require anybody
Mm-hmm.
because they've already told you if you pay attention. Bill Gates has already said we are overpopulated. When are we? No, we're not. In densely populated areas like major cities, of course, because that's where, most people choose.
Opportunities.
Right, that's where most people choose to be. But as a whole, we're not. But by saying that, and we're looking at where we're at in the world, that goes hand in hand with like what we're seeing. So that's why I would say take everything into account and don't just take it for face value. Even when you think you have the right answer, always try to it's like a science project, right? When you using science, because I hated science, but like in science class they say don't try to prove your hypothesis right, try to prove your hypothesis wrong. And so in the same manner, when you think you got the right question, keep looking, because it's more deeper than that.
Yeah. So I think we touched that part a little bit. Like we said, this episode is surface level, but we will be getting deeper into each topic. So we did define loud. We kind of answered the question about what is producing the loudness.
Yeah.
So I think the next question to ask is, what does this environment do to how people think?
I think we kind of said it throughout the whole podcast. I think it creates an environment where if you don't have, so going back to the radio analogy, right? If you're not tuning in on a certain frequency, but you're just picking up random words and beliefs and ideologies from random things that come up, or narratives, right? Because what I'm saying is the wavelengths represent the narratives. So if you're just picking up random narratives and not understanding the context behind it and you just believe in it, then you fall for anything, right? It creates, you're basically like you're a vegetable, because you don't think for yourself anymore. So that now forces you don't even make that forces you not even to make your own decisions. And that's how advanced AI is, honestly, because if I plug in the different variables about you, I can get a very accurate assessment of what you like, what you want to do, where would you be, where would you end up, and like all these different things. And so by doing that, I can target you even more. I can market towards you even more, right? And so, I would say, when you say, what was the question?
What does this environment do to how people think?
What does it do to how people think? It causes people not to think, but to react, essentially.
Yeah. And I can relate to this because stress creates narrow thinking. And when my brain get overly loaded, I don't want to really think about anything.
Right.
And I just react to what the actual issue is. If I had a hard day or life is kicking my ass, I'm really just like, oh my God, Demario, not right now. Cause Demario is a very solution-based person, and he'll come with me oh, well, let's
what can we do?
Sit and talk, and what can we do about it? How did we get into this situation? And I'm like, nigga. I'm like, not right now. I'm like, not right now. And then I feel like everything that happens in that moment where the emotions are high, it's I feel like it's a threat. You be asking me I don't know, hard day, I really just want to be alone, cry, be sad, listen to some music, don't want to do anything. And it's I still, you get emails about things that you need to do, you get text messages from people, it's just a lot. And it's just I just want a second. And so I think that's what a lot of people experience. And then you come with actual solutions, and it's just I'm so stressed, I don't want to think about all this shit.
Exactly.
And I just want to
detach.
Detach, because it's quiet over there.
Right.
Everything is too loud. So also it's just but also I appreciate you for being solution based, because it has helped me to stop reacting and actually come up with a plan. And what do you call it? It's preventing something from happening. It's an actual phrase for it.
Proactive, reactive?
No. it'll come to me, but it's like basically you put me in a like once something happens, I want to prevent it from actually happening again.
Preventative? I don't know. I'm gonna stop. I don't know.
It's like right here,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's just
it'll
not
come.
coming.
Yeah, it'll come.
But yeah, so like stress just narrows thinking. So like it's just hard to think critically if it's so much going on. But we have to start push like I don't know, as a community and as a society, we have to start pushing each other.
Yeah.
To think critically. Like I have you, but like everybody doesn't have you,
Right.
or everybody doesn't have a man or a friend or a woman like you that pushes you to think critically. Because, you know, if I didn't have you, I probably would just be like, man, let me just get up, work,
right,
whatever the case may be. But like, you know, I'd be coming home, I'd be like, Demario, not right now. But like, then you come like an hour later, like after, and be like, all right, we got to figure this out.
Yeah. And go ahead. My bad.
And so that's what, because I can just relate to, because I'm not a solution based person. I'm like, man, like why was today so hard? Like I was having a good day until I got to work, or I was having a good day until this happened. And so like I'm definitely still an emotional thinker. Like, so don't think we're saying, oh, emotional thinking is bad because I do it all the time. But it's also good to think critically, because every time I do think critically and Demario helped me with solutions, it's worked out perfectly fine. So, what were you going to say?
I was just gonna add that. Oh, I just thought about an analogy because I think in like scenarios and analogies and stuff.
Yeah.
So like while you were talking, you just made me think about like I would say there's two types of people, and it's called fight or flight, right? We all know what fight or flight is, but I just when you were talking, I just pictured it everything like all the chaos and all the confusion as we're all on a ship. This is probably like not a good analogy for black people, but we're all on the ship. We're all on the ship, and there's a storm, right? And it's a bad storm. And if you don't do nothing, you're gonna die, because the ship is gonna obviously like tumble over and.
I mean, you saying
flip
black
over.
people, it's not good for white people too, because this reminded me of the Titanic.
Oh, brother, it's a joke, bro. Relax.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
But no,
we all in the same boat.
What I'm saying is, I pictured it as like, in the storm, you're gonna have people who are gonna, panic and just find a corner and just ball up and just say, okay, this is it. They, fight or flight. And there is a one that's gonna either run or they're gonna pick a corner and just like be stiff.
Run away from the problem. And
right.
There's some people
when your
your
adrenaline gets so hard where like you can't even move no more.
No.
Well, that's the thing.
My adrenaline. I remember I got chased by a dog, and I stood there for 3 seconds.
But what I'm saying is, there are people who don't react. People who find themselves in situations, and instead of thinking through the situation and saying, I'm gonna go drive the boat and make sure I get us out of here. There's other people who say, I'm going to find a secluded area and just pray. Exactly. And just
which is nothing wrong with praying.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, but you got to do something.
Faith without works.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And so I think what we're kind of like getting at is like, we're trying to help you become comfortable being uncomfortable, because in the era that's coming, if you're trying to maintain that comfortability, you're gonna stay in it. You're gonna remain comfortable, right? But you're not gonna be successful. You're not gonna be peaceful. You're not gonna be happy. And that's not even like
being mean.
Right. Like that's the fact. That's the truth, right? Because we're already seeing it of like can't afford groceries anymore. You can, but like you penny pinching, right?
You can, but
can't find jobs no more.
You can, but you don't need. It's not a necessity right now.
Right. The job market is insane right now.
Trash.
Right. It's no matter how qualified you are, like it's still hard to find a job.
And then you overqualify, like what? You don't need nobody for real.
Right. And so like, yeah, so that's why I'm saying like be comfortable being uncomfortable. And what that means is ask the uncomfortable questions, right? Do the uncomfortable things, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But like also we have to like
Because like you say, right? Like when you're overstimulated and your emotions is high and stuff like that,
mm-hmm,
what happens? You just want to detach.
mm-hmm.
And that's comfortable for you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just
Exactly. So
leave
what
me
I'm
alone. Let me fix me something to eat and like go on
exactly.
TikTok. Just leave me.
So what I'm saying
Leave me
is
have
for most
alone
people, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable in the fact that I don't like this feeling, but I can't stay in this area. I can't stay in this.
for too
Right.
long.
Exactly. Because even if I detach, it's still here.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I avoid reality, the reality doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all.
Yeah, and I think also like because you said like if you said the boat, the storm. Some people are going to just like hide and
Right,
just pray
right.
and whatever, and some people are actually going to do something about it. I think also critical thinking helps you to different solutions and not just one. Because you said, oh, maybe drive the boat. Well, damn, if you can't drive the boat, you don't know what button press what button, you don't know how to steer or whatever. Find another solution. Like it's not just one solution to
Get on the
everything.
radio.
Yeah, like figure out the radio, or like they have the little floaties on the side of the boat.
I ain't get on a floaty in the middle
Or
of a
not
storm.
the floaty, but they have the little. It's electric, I think. Or
Yeah.
it's the ones on the cruises are like it'll
Yeah.
go fast. It's not like you on a kayak or something. Like you can get to where you need to go.
Yeah.
So like figure those out, or like like you said, communicate. Like when you communicate and critically think and work together, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
And it's so much. It's a lot of answers to different questions, right? And I think also when you talk, like we talked a little bit about division at the beginning, that helps with not just division, it helps with the economy. It helps. So like one answer can solve many questions as well.
Yeah.
Like one question can have many answers, but one answer can solve many questions.
Facts.
Yeah. So we defined loud, we kind of asked, what is producing the loudness.
Yep.
We asked, what does that do to people in that environment. Now the next question is, when people are overly loaded, like, and overstimulated, who do they turn to, or what do they turn to?
I think naturally they turn to what's comfortable, like you said. They turn to
Shots.
no, it ain't shots.
Fired.
What I'm saying, like you said, I have a great example, so I'm using your example.
I mean, it's
So
not example, it's reality.
Exactly. They turn to comfortability. They turn to the food. They turn to the TikTok. You said.
I ain't say food like that now. Don't do that.
All right, bro. But I'm saying people turn.
I'm saying I just want to cook me a meal.
I get you. I understand. That's what I'm saying.
Why food was the first thing you had to say?
Oh, brother. They turn to what's comfortable.
Yes.
That's what it is, right? Mm-hmm. Should they? No. So we kind of answered that. Like, what you should turn to is kind of like what's the issue. But what do you turn to? What's comfortable?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What do you think, though?
I mean,
I ain't no expert, so you might.
You're not no expert, but I feel like you're right. They turn to what's comfortable, whether it is food, whether it is social media, whether it is music, whether it is sometimes sex, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol.
Exactly.
I mean, it could go, and then that causes more problems, honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
so
why do you think they just now made weed legal? Like, just stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because like now in most states you can go and get weed from a dispensary or something. Mm-hmm. Why is that? Why is it now that they promote marijuana and CBD is like, oh, if you're stressed out, when like, bro,
you can turn to that instead of actually figuring out.
Exactly. It's like
that makes sense.
It's just an inhibitor for you to like. Now you have an excuse of like, man, I ain't gotta worry about this. I'm gonna just go smoke. I'm like, okay, we'll see you in 10 years and see how that turns out. And that's not saying that like marijuana or CBD is like a bad thing, but I'm saying when people use that as an
escape instead of, because like, I mean, to me, okay, maybe I shouldn't be saying this because I'm a pharmacist, but like recreationally, I don't
do what you want.
Do what you want.
Do what you
want. Exactly.
Want.
Thank you. Yeah, but I feel like that's a good example. Like, why are they making things like so accessible now? Because people turn to those things
Hmm.
to escape and not actually deal with their reality.
But scholarships is not accessible no more. You know,
Mm.
they just took out like all of those health professions from being
Oh,
able to
from
do
being a
federal scholarships.
professional, yeah, yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
right? Like, so it's like, so we can get marijuana and we can get CBD, but we can't get scholarships for actual education. Okay.
Or student loans. I think
Exactly.
federal student loans or something
Exactly.
like that.
So it's
Yeah.
like, what are we pushing towards,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I mean, that's really what it's like. That's what we need to look for. But I mean, just staying on the topics of who benefits from the confusion.
Mm-hmm.
I think in all, like, it just goes back to the source,
Mm-hmm.
and the source is different depending on what industry we're talking about, obviously. But the way that you get to that and find out what that source
Mm-hmm.
is by asking, those hard questions,
Mm-hmm.
by being uncomfortable with what you hear, because sometimes it may go against your ideology, it may go against your belief, it may go against of what you always thought to be true, which was untrue, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think you hit the nail on the head. Because I mean, I didn't even think about it that way. They're taking away, like you said, funding for, different professional programs and saying it's not a professional program, but they are access, the
Yeah,
things that, people go to for comfort is more accessible.
exactly.
And it's actually a little bit, yeah, concerning
Yeah.
now that you said it. Um, so yeah, just scratching the surface on that. Definitely go deeper, do a deeper dive on that. But I think the next question is, again, I'm going to kind of summarize what we talked about. We talked about defining loud, what's producing the loudness, what does that do to people in that environment, who do people, I mean, when people are overstimulated, what do they turn to? And then, so the last question, well, no, this is not the last question.
One of the last questions.
One of the last questions. So, what does clarity look like? Because we define loud, what's loudness,
Yeah.
who's producing the loudness, what happens when you're in that environment, who do they turn to? So now it's like, okay, what's the solution? And we're thinking it's clarity.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what does that look like?
I think so. We talked about, right? Like we said, people turn to comfort, which can be drugs, alcohol, food, social media, sex, all these different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So going back to the radio analogy,
Mm-hmm.
clarity is being able to.
Something just hit me. I'm sorry for interrupting
Go ahead,
you.
go ahead, go ahead.
Because you said the sex part,
Yeah.
and just like kind of like looking at just basketball. They turn on the commercials or whatever. They're advertising a lot of like HIV treatments too now.
Oh wow.
A lot of, which is important, but like
Right.
PrEP, which is like medications that, like, if you are having sex or if
Right.
you're a homosexual and you're having
Right. Unprotected sex and all of that.
unprotected sex, it protects you from
Yeah.
people who may have HIV or just lower your chances of getting HIV. But when you said the thing about marijuana and stuff, they're like making that more accessible too, which is not a bad thing. I think it's much needed because
Right.
the numbers are rising. But just going from your point, like, it's like, okay, people do turn to like that,
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
and it shows like they have a treatment for it, which is valid. Like, not saying like it shouldn't happen, but
What are they pushing?
yeah.
Right.
So yeah,
But yeah, I
we
mean,
can cut this out. I don't know if this is gonna help my point as a pharmacist, but go ahead.
I mean, it's good, but I think, like, going back to the question, right? I think that um clarity just looks like when you're able to tune into that radio and be able to dissect it clearly and understand it and get to a point to where now you have, even if it's a baseline understanding,
Mm-hmm.
you have some form of like, okay, I get it. you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not from any form of comfort that you may have gotten, right? It's not from the weed, it's not from the CBD, it's not from the sex, it's not from any of those things, but it's from you being able to dissect the issue. But honestly, I think like you would answer this question better than I can.
What does clarity look like?
Yeah.
And you think I can answer it better?
Yeah, I know, because you said something before where you were you said something about like noise and answering the question and and being able to like get to a point where after you
Present the problem,
after you
basically.
have those emotions, it's not there no more or something like that. You said something I can't remember, but it was good. It's better than anything I could say though.
Okay. So what does clarity look like? I think clarity looks like we said, we're getting a lot of content, no context. I think it starts with context and finding the context within the content that's being pushed and the information being pushed, and not just accepting what's being advertised and what's being sent out through social media and entertainment. I think clarity looks like curiosity and having a mind and stimulating that critical thinking, or
Yeah.
those critical thinking skills that we were taught in school, so we're not easily manipulated, and we're not gullible to the things that are being pushed. But we also, like, kind of like what you said earlier, like, you know, what you said earlier about the hypothesis. You always want to question it because, you just want to make sure. Because, like, I don't, because what you said about the science, I was a little iffy about that, but I didn't want to. I got what you were saying. But I know, like, in middle school, I think 6th grade, we were taught to do the experiment 3 times. And if you get something different, then you got to question what was done differently or what happened to get a different outcome. Yeah, 6th grade, we were taught, do where we did, like, first you did the experiment once and then you did the experiment 3 times to see if you got the same answer. So the same way you had to question it over and over to make sure the
Hypothesis?
no, not the hypothesis, that the conclusion was the same and it was accurate every
Right.
single time and precise every single time. I think that's the same thing with the information. Like, just because they said this in a commercial, question it. Question the history behind it. And I'll go to say this because I think clarity is a hard thing to define, because I don't think anything will ever be clear when we talk about finding the truth, because there will always be something else that's not discovered yet. Hence to why, we're living in a society today. So I like to use this analogy. When I draw a black dot on a white piece of paper and I hold it up to you or anybody else, and I say, what do you see on this paper? What most likely a person's going to say?
Average person is going to say a black dot.
A black dot. But that's not the only thing on the paper. What, the paper also have or includes the white space around it. And I think clarity is not just looking at the black dot. And I think that's where we go back to the narrow thinking. It's questioning the white space around the dot. And I think that's what clarity is, like, not just looking at the problem, but what other problems could be contributing to a problem. Another example, when in school, when we had soap and look at a patient, you had to look at the patient holistically. You were taught to look at the patient holistically. Yes, the primary problem may be heart failure. What are the other problems they have, and can that be contributing to the primary problem? Or is that another problem on its own? But, when you come up with your plan and when you go through the assessment and then you come up with your plan, it's, okay, what's the problem? How can I treat this patient with this medication? Can I give Is there evidence in primary literature that shows that this medication can work for heart failure and kidney issues, or CKD, chronic kidney disease? Is there a medication, okay, this person got CKD, diabetes, and heart failure. Is there a medication that has evidence for all of these? So I think it's the same thing, finding clarity, looking at the problem holistically, and not just looking at the black dot on the paper, but looking at the white around it, the white space around it. So I think that's what clarity looks like. It's, for me, that's the best way I can define it. And honestly, I know there's somebody out there with a better definition. So please go in the chat.
Yeah.
Or not in the chat, but the comment section, and just comment, because we'll be reading it. I'll be reading it, and just kind of looking at what you guys are saying and
feedback and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I would also just say, on the topic of clarity, here's 5 questions, y'all can ask yourselves when you're talking about trying to find clarity, right? So the first question you want to ask is, what's the claim that's being presented? What's the claim that I'm being led to believe? Mm-hmm. And then the second one is, what emotion is it triggering? And then the third question is, based off of that emotion, what action is it pushing me to do? And then the fourth question off of that is, what's the context that I may be missing, right? And that's obviously where you have to have a hypothesis and not be emotionally attached to the claim, because you have to test it, right? And you have to come up with different reasons why you may be missing context. And then the fifth question you want to ask yourself is, what's a better question that I should be asking, right? And just an example of it is, the first question, what's the claim, right? He didn't text me. He didn't text back, right? So because he didn't text back, the claim now is all men are fill in the blank, whatever you want to say, right? The second question is, what emotion is that triggering? Mm-hmm. So based off of me believing that all men are whatever you want to fill in the blank with, mm-hmm. that's making me feel. How would a woman feel if she felt like men ain't shit, or men ain't this, or men ain't that? What do you think?
Because he ain't text back,
or whatever the reason may be. It could be a plethora of reasons.
First of all,
if you believe that a man ain't XYZ, mm-hmm. how would that make you feel?
Mm-hmm. I can't speak for all women, because clearly I don't think like all women. However, I guess when you talk about,
I guess
I don't like the men texting back part, because first of all, I don't text back. Second of all, and I don't know how they make them feel. First of all, your man might be busy at work getting the bread.
But that's why I'm going through the claim. So let me try to go through the claim one more time.
Can we get another
let me try to do it one more time.
Question?
Let me just do it one more time.
Whatever.
Let me do it one more time.
Scenario.
Let me do it one more time.
Okay.
I'm gonna try. The claim is, all men are XYZ, or all women are XYZ.
And right? That's the claim.
That's the claim. Mm-hmm. What emotion is that triggering me to feel? That's making me feel like there is no woman out there that can be good for me, or be able to provide what I need from her in a relationship.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. What action is that pushing me to do? So now anytime a man comes up to a woman, she already has this misconception about men, so she pushes every man away. And just as an example, or she might be more hard on to where she's like more aggressive towards a man,
or more resistant to love.
Exactly, right? So what context may she be missing? She may be missing that all men aren't the same. Mm-hmm. She may be missing the context that men are just different, I guess.
Or that man just didn't like you like that.
Exactly, mm-hmm. Right? There's a plethora of things that it could be, right? And so what's the better question that she could be asking? Instead of saying like, all men are XYZ, or all women are XYZ, the better question is, what happened in this relationship? What went bad in this relationship mm-hmm. that, led us to, not talking anymore, or led us to, fall off, or whatever the case may be, instead of just automatically assuming, girl, all men like that, or all women like that.
I think also, like, going off that, I think she can question herself too, like,
oh, for sure.
What is there? All right, buddy.
Yeah, it's better a woman like you say that than I say that. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's not always the man, and I don't want to sound like a bird or like, what is it called? A pick me.
Right.
But like sometimes it's really not always the man. Like,
Right.
sometimes like, and I can even hold like accountability in my past things, or even with us, like sometimes I am the problem.
Yeah.
Even though I look in the mirror every day and tell myself I'm not.
I know.
I look in the mirror every day and wake up, you're not the problem. I'm not the problem. But sometimes when I actually think about the situation, I'm probably the problem.
Most
or
likely the
I
problem.
contributed to the problem.
Which means you're the problem.
No, it doesn't mean I'm the problem. There's a problem that both of us are contributing to.
Right.
And that's why I said it's us against the problem.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. I know. Yeah, so I think this is where we can leave you with a question to think about until next time.
Yeah.
So what's that question?
What is the question, honestly?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. So the question is, what noise is there going on around your life that you may need to take a minute and pause? Leave us a comment in the section below and let us know, what are some of the things that you should be questioning that's happening, because each and every single one of us have different maybe concerned about something that affects me, right? But we talked about it, right? That we should be concerned about everything as a whole that affects different people. So for anybody out there that's, having narratives, having just noise in general.
Mm-hmm.
What's your noise? So that's what we want to know.
Yeah, and I agree. And I wanted to add another question to that too. However, like, noise is everywhere. Confusion is easy. But clarity starts when you slow down and ask the right question. So again, the question that we're going to leave you with is, where in your life are you reacting to noise? But also another question I have is, what question would bring clarity instead? Because we talked about clarity. Again, comment your answer in the comment section. Also, like, comment about a topic or questions that you want to be, we want to just remind you, go support Project Purpose. Thank you guys for watching our podcast, and we hope, you love our content. Don't forget to subscribe below.